Grand Rising, it's Empress Priestess. I know all is well. I'm grateful for you as subscribers. Don't remember, don't be a generator for anyone else and not generate yourself first. So, don't be so willing to come to the aid of others and sacrifice yourself in order to come to the aid of others. As chosen ones, we are guided to whom we are supposed to help and assist. We don't know the nature of people's karma and that they even have karma to receive. And so, first and foremost, we want to keep any negative energies, any negative circumstances away from us ourselves as healers, as we come in contact with those who are seeking assistance, guidance, clarity. And in order to do that, we comprehend we are the origin of as generators. So it starts with us and it extends outward. We make sure we're taken care of first because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And since we perceive that an empty cup is symbolic of there not being a energy pouring into you, which you are supposed to have your cup filled at all times because God fills it. And God uses you to fill your own cup. He does. He revitalizes you. Yah gives us everything we need if we allow ourselves to take time to wake up to everything that's going on in our vortex. Without judgment, though. Because the judgment will keep you entrapped mentally. Entrapped, wondering people's intentions or what were they thinking when they did. That's not our concern. That would be you carrying the burden and weight of another person's actions. We don't do that. We allow that person to carry the burden and weight of their own actions that guided them, because I tell everybody, I don't accept apologies. Whatever you did, you meant to do it. Whatever energy you was in, whatever entity was whispering in your ear, whatever emotions you had that you allowed to lead and guide you in whatever capacity that it led and guided you to you causing any type of betrayal, distrust, what have you, you meant to do it. There's no I apologize, because you can't take away your actions nor the result and outcome of what you've done. So all you can do is stand up there and hold it, because you hadn't had time to process and make sense of it for yourself. So it leaves you scared and fearful of committing that same assault. That's why people go through multiple relationships, hop, skipping, and jumping, doing the same shit. And then we even try to become so savvy as to manipulate the individual who is not conflicted to make them carry the burden and weight of their actions. Like, you should be upset that I did. If you don't, that means you don't love me. You're not emotionally invested. No, I'm not emotionally invested into nonsense. Anyone who makes us mad controls us. Anyone who makes us angry controls us. I'm not controlled by anything. It's your God and I. It's Yah and I. It's Yah, the Christ, and I. It's a trinity over here. So I'm telling myself what's up, Yah telling me what's up, and the Christ is telling me what's up. There's no way I can lose or go wrong, as long as I'm obedient. I'm obedient so I don't sacrifice. I'm obedient so I don't sacrifice. I'm obedient so I don't sacrifice. We can even go as far as to say, I'm obedient so I'm not the sacrifice. I'm obedient, so I'm not the sacrifice. I'm obedient, so I am not the sacrifice. We listen and we don't judge. Take your time to look at all of the energy that you put out and come to a consensus on your own calculations on how you feel, because all of these things take into account perception of your 3D experience. And if you don't feel, or if you feel hesitant, or if you feel apprehensive, that information is to be used. It's a protection so you're not used. But SZA said, done being used, done feeling stupid. Yeah, that's where all that comes from. You weren't paying attention. You allow people to say, oh, you so sensitive. And then what Kanye talk about? No, you're not sensitive. You're aware. You conscientious. You feel. I feel and I know from feeling. But when you become the sacrifice, you numb yourself to feeling. You're looking at certain things that don't involve feeling because you want to get the job done for somebody else. We ain't setting ourselves on fire to warm somebody else up. We're going to let them feel what they need to feel so that they can shift the trajectory of who and what they're putting out. Whether it's an entity they're putting out, it's all still energy. Communication is everything. And when a person can't communicate, won't communicate, shut down communication, you have nothing. If it's everything. They don't give you an opportunity to perceive their actions, what they're doing. If you don't even take it, recouping your time, recouping your energy. If you don't take it so that you can reflect, so that you can really evaluate how things are moving, so that you have a true consensus of where you're going, if the intent's being fulfilled. Because it don't take you getting to the end of something to see that, oh, it would. No, you can see beforehand it's not going to work. But are you ignoring it to set yourself on fire for somebody else? Because if you're doing all you can, that means it's not on you. Other than you seeing the truth of the facts and figures, it's on that other person. Again, don't set yourself on fire to warm somebody else, because guess what? They won't do it for you. They won't. You'll get in a situation and they'll just be looking at you like, judging you, talking to the folks behind your back. Whenever you see them, ask you what's going on so that they can go and give somebody else an update. Be private. You don't have to be secret. It's called privacy. My energy is sacred. It's not for everybody. It's not to be shared. Just like you won't share dick as a chosen one or veggie, don't share your energy in any capacity. It's not just sexually. That goes from not saying hey to somebody. That goes from turning your head, not speaking, not acknowledging. If you keep acknowledging BS, attention goes where energy flows. So you're bringing the BS. It's like an attractor. Super attractor. I'd rather be super attractive in ways that enhance my human experience. That is exactly what I desire to be, and greater. That's what I think. I don't look. That's why when they say, well, if you only focus on what you're doing in a relationship and it's going to turn out, well, the other person has free will. So what happens when you wake up to them doing something that you ain't expect and you all in love with them, gone gaga? Now what? That's not on them. That's on you. Why? because there were signs, there were things showing you. But you were so caught up in an energy that you didn't catch that particular radio line frequency. So you missed it. But obviously you needed it because it's a lesson. It's balance. It's balance. It's balance. Balance creates harmony. And these are just regular principles of dealing with people on a daily basis. From kids, your kids, other children. Like, you don't have to live a stressful existence. You can genuinely be at peace, conflict free, by letting people hold their own conflicts. Being the savior to self. The song on is Jason Derulo, What You Say. That means something. So let's take the time to actually pay attention. Go to that previous video I just did this morning about posing questions to people when they say that they're seeking something. Because you got to be able to give that energy to what it is in order to draw it to you. Otherwise, you're not going to receive it. You might receive some version you can resonate with, but it's not what it would be if you were authentic yourself. It doesn't mean that false people won't come along. It means that you'll have the tools and skill set to identify so that you can weed out your garden and get what you want effortlessly. It's the Barbie life, the Barbie way. And I know there are men that watch, so it's the Ken way, the Ken life. Figure out what you want and unapologetically and relentlessly go after it. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they would. There are no losses unless you create the loss. There's no unless you create the no. Everything is permissible. And there's nothing new under the sun. So you have to figure out how to use the various maxims and which ones would be the empowering force in your 3D reality, that you can break barriers, that you can break dimensions, that you can move through time and space, because there is none. There's only you, and there's only your desires. And that's what will come about. So be aware and conscientious of what you're nourishing yourself with, so that your cup will stay filled and overflowing at all times, because Yah gives us what we need for that to be so. It's our lack of use of our discernment, lack of wanting to see things for what they actually are, showing themselves to us in our 3D reality. It is us completely, the self. So once you break down these very traumatic responses and walls that you built and put up and things to fragment and isolate reality so that you can cope, you'll be able to see the big picture. And in seeing the big picture, you will have the data that you need to be a force for yourself, to be available for yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually, to be available for others. That's doing God's work. That's being the vessel. That's letting God occupy within you and work miracles that have never been seen. That's what Jesus said when he said, you could do these things that I do in greater. That means you were not supposed to use Jesus in your Bibles as a standard or as the top ceiling, glass ceiling. No, there's more beyond what Jesus did in Jesus' lifetime, according to the Bible. There's so much more. Yahusha? Yeah. The Christed one is who I refer to because it is a Christed mindset, where the CSF fluid, that's the cerebral spinal fluid, washes over the brain. Yeah. It's an actual chemical process in the body. Christ consciousness, the Christedness, the Christed seat. And that's the Kundalini energy rising up from the sacral, That's where all that comes from. That's where that enlightenment where you can see what others can't see. It is not about ghosts and all that stuff. That comes with it, but that's not the focus. It's so that you can see people's intentions and what's really going on with people, because they use their words as weapons to lie, create manipulations, create illusions, just so that they can get what they want. So allow these people to hold their conflict and sort it out. And if they get, used to that, they get it enough times, there's a change and shift of the human behavior. But if a person is getting support and they're being crappy because they can manipulate people, of course they're not going to stop. And if you ignore it because you don't want conflict, okay, well, if you don't want conflict, put them in their place, let them know what's up. That don't really require you being aggressive. That just requires you responding healthily to their behavior. And a healthy response could be a dismissal as well. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean that you can't handle life. It means you decided that that energy was not going to provide you the growth you needed. Life is bigger than getting $1. These psychological principles, these analytical analysis, like, they're needed because people are mentally off their rockers here. And people are accepting that this is just how it goes. And I'm fed up. It's not just how it goes. And it won't go over this way. So tread lightly when you come my direction. It ain't safe. If you ain't coming with pure intentions, you will be eradicated expeditiously. Thank you for your time, your energy, your love. Thank you for your listening ear. Thank you for the comprehension to even come back, to know that you can come back to these videos and listen to them and gain further insights, because it expands. It doesn't just stay in one trajectory. It can go either way. It just depends. Each frequency, it has infinite. It's infinite. It's infinite. Revel in it. It's safe when you are authentic to yourself, unapologetically, however people feel about it. It's infinite. I'm living it. It's true. God is real. It's not a fable. It's not a fictitious. No, it's real. It's real. Take time and meditate. Connect. Tap in. Don't set yourself on fire to warm others. Be obedient. We are obedient, so we do not sacrifice. We are obedient, so we are not the sacrifice. We listen and we don't judge. Thank you again. Take care.